What's up, everybody? This is the MOBC, my own boxing community. I want to talk about a fight that didn't take place, unfortunately. At the time, Margarito was a contender who ended up being a mandatory, I believe, for Floyd Mayweather Jr. And it's unfortunate that this fight didn't happen because now it's a fantasy matchup. And it's a fantasy matchup that a lot of people don't really talk about. I don't think I've ever seen anyone talk about this topic because Margarito was overlooked for whatever reason. I know that he had allegations of cheating and wearing loaded gloves. And, you know, he took the loss to Mosley, and then he took the loss to Manny Pacquiao, and then Miguel Cotto got his revenge and beat Margarito, stopped him, I believe, in the 10th round. But before the allegations, before the cheating allegations, Margarito was a dangerous, unknown opponent who fought a lot of the big welterweights at the time, guys that Floyd Mayweather himself didn't fight. Floyd Mayweather didn't fight Joshua Clottey. He didn't fight Kermit Cintron. He didn't fight Paul Williams, right? He fought a lot of the big welterweights that Floyd Mayweather wasn't fighting. And I know that a lot of these guys weren't popular, but they were there. Paul Williams and Margarito fought for a title, which was a very good fight, and Paul Williams won. That was another fight that Floyd didn't fight. But Floyd Mayweather Jr. had a chance to fight Antonio Margarito. In fact, Margarito went up to Floyd Mayweather. It's on YouTube. You could go on YouTube right now, and you can see him calling him out. I believe the rumors was the fight was going to be somewhere of like an $8 million purse. I'm sure Floyd would have negotiated a little bit more. Margarito probably was going to get maybe $1 or $2 million, right? Called him out in front of everybody. Floyd Mayweather looked a little shook. Didn't want no parts of Antonio Margarito and brushed him off. And the fight never took place. I mean, this is the same guy who stopped one of the future middleweight junior middleweight and middleweight champions, Sergio Martinez. Margarito stopped him. TKO stoppage. This is the same guy who, at 154, knocked out Paul Williams. This is the same guy who outboxed Kelly Pavlik. So he was a good fighter. And then Paul Williams beat Margarito. So we can't go with the triangle theory that just because Mosley beat Antonio Margarito and Floyd beat Mosley, that Floyd Mayweather could beat Antonio Margarito. It remains to be seen because they never fought. But who would win if they fought in this fantasy matchup? Let's look at the styles, right? Pressure fighting. Maidana, who was much smaller than Margarito, not as strong as Margarito, a natural 140-pound fighter, fought maybe an older Floyd. Yeah, he's an older Floyd, but Floyd stays in the gym, stays in shape. He was 100%, still 100% Floyd Mayweather Jr. And he got pressured and beat up and battered in the first fight against Maidana. And actually, I thought Maidana won that fight. And that was with referee Tony Weeks, who Floyd Mayweather was looking at constantly, trying to have Maidana break it up. Have Tony Weeks break up the inside fighting. Because that was the game plan. To beat up Floyd Mayweather, not let him find his range, not let him make it a chess match. And Maidana is nowhere near as strong and as busy as Antonio Margarito. Not even close. He's not even as big. He's not even as strong as Margarito. Margarito, constant pressure, constantly swinging. If there was a fantasy matchup and Amir Khan never fought Maidana, 90% of you guys would pick Maidana to beat Amir Khan. But you know what? They did fight. And Amir Khan put him on his back with a body shot. And then they fought 10 rounds. Very competitive. Amir Khan wins. Then Maidana fought Devin Alexander. Cool. C-class at best. Didn't let Maidana win a round. Nowhere near as skilled as Floyd Mayweather Jr. But its styles makes fights. And I'm sure a lot of you fans will go to the Miguel Cotto fight. Because Miguel Cotto, even though allegedly Margarito was wearing loaded gloves before the stoppage, Miguel Cotto was put in a boxing clinic. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Is Miguel Cotto a better boxer than Floyd? No. But there's one thing that Miguel Cotto is better at. Is he has more punching power. And he has more heart in himself to fight along and go and fight the bigger man. And even with those solid shots that Miguel Cotto was landing, who Miguel Cotto is one of my favorite fighters, even with those solid shots, Antonio Margarito kept coming. And we're talking about a guy who was allegedly wearing loaded gloves who weakened Miguel Cotto in that fight. And Miguel Cotto was still managing to land power shots. And they might have hadn't took some steam away from him because he was slowly getting tired. The pressure was taking a toll on him. The punches from the alleged loaded gloves was taking a toll on him. And he stopped him. But if Miguel Cotto can't keep Margarito off of him, do we really think Floyd, who couldn't keep Maidana off of him, you think that he could keep Margarito off of him? And I'm sure a lot of fans will say, well, what about the rematch with Maidana? The rematch that a lot of you guys seem to neglect the fact that Floyd Mayweather made sure to hire a new referee, a referee who was not going to let Maidana fight on the inside. He kept breaking it up, constantly breaking it up, whereas Tony Weeks let them fight. But Kenny Bayless said, nope, I'm going to break it up. Kind of reminds me of the Puerto Rican referee for Floyd Mayweather against Ricky Hatton. Tiny Ricky Hatton, who, again, another pressure fighter, nowhere near as big as Margarito, nowhere as strong as Margarito. And because we had a referee that wouldn't allow Ricky Hatton to fight his game, which is on the inside, and inside fighting is part of boxing, Floyd Mayweather came out on top. Yeah, beautiful stoppage by Floyd. Beautiful stoppage by Floyd. But you guys can't tell me that the referee didn't play a small part in not letting Ricky Hatton fight his fight. And I'm not saying Ricky Hatton was going to win. But I'm just saying, real boxing fans know that the referee was stopping Ricky Hatton from fighting the fight that he fights. Again, another pressure fighter, nowhere near as strong and as ruthless as Antonio Margarito. Floyd Mayweather has never fought any of the bigger welterweights. Floyd Mayweather has never fought someone with a size advantage at welterweight like Antonio Margarito. A lot of you guys will bring up Diego Corrales. Yeah, Diego Corrales was a big 130, 135-pound fighter. But the difference is, how does Diego Corrales fight? Does anybody know how he fights? He's an inside fighter, right? He has to get close to you. He throws short punches. Does anyone know why? Because he has short arms. And his style was all bad for Floyd. Floyd is a range fighter who uses his reach advantage. And he finds his range really good. Diego Corrales wasn't going to win that fight. Floyd Mayweather at 130 pounds was too fast. Too fast on his feet. And Diego Corrales was drained because he wanted to have that fight at 135. Now, of course, Margarito, I understand. He got caught supposedly using loaded gloves on the night of the fight at Mosley. Mosley stopped him. Good. And then because I don't like guys who cheating. And then he fought Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao at 154 pounds catch weight. I think it was like 152. He weighed in close to 175, 180 on fight night. Pressuring Manny Pacquiao. Beating up Manny Pacquiao. But Manny Pacquiao put the beats on him. But it was a lot of pressure. But the difference is Manny Pacquiao punches harder than Floyd. And he still couldn't stop Margarito from coming forward and keep coming and throwing punches, landing vicious body shots on tiny, small Manny Pacquiao. And then we have the rematch with Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto past his prime, slowly declining against a Margarito, still big, still strong, took a beating in 2 fights, but he still has that confidence. He has that aura to him that's intimidating to Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto boxed beautiful. It looked like Antonio Margarito could have still went 2 more rounds, but the fight was stopped because his eye was messed up from the previous fight with Manny Pacquiao. And I don't care about, man, it looked like they gave the win to Miguel Cotto because it looked like he was fresh. 2 more rounds. Yes, he had the stamina. Yeah, he could have kept going. But Cotto sealed and solidified the eye injury, made it worse. Shout out to Miguel Cotto, one of my favorite fighters of all time. Because that fight, that was a win that he needed for, to me, his best win. Because this guy allegedly cheated in that first fight. But we're talking about a prime 147 Margarito against a prime Floyd Mayweather. So who would win this fight? Floyd Mayweather is a range fighter. Floyd Mayweather struggled against Maidana. Floyd Mayweather struggled against Ricky Hatton. Floyd Mayweather was struggling before the sucker punch to Victor Ortiz. All these guys that are pressure fighters, bigger, stronger pressure fighters. None of these guys are as strong as Big and throws the amount of punches, the volume of punches, heavy-handed punches. There's guys out there who sparred Margarito without the alleged gloves, and they all say Margarito could punch. And I believe he can. He's a big guy. Now, Floyd Mayweather will have to find his range. Floyd Mayweather will have to use his reach to his advantage, but he can't because he's fighting a guy that has the long arms just as him, but height and weight. This isn't the same day weigh-in era. This is Floyd still A-side, but he still can't call the amount of shots that he could in the future. So how does Floyd beat a guy who is going to constantly pressure him? Even, let's say, hypothetically speaking, we'll throw in Kenny Bayless, who's not going to let Floyd Margarito fight on the inside. But he's still going to be pressuring him, and he's still going to be throwing a lot of punches. Floyd Mayweather is not going to throw the same amount of punches than Margarito. And Margarito's going to constantly throw to his head, to his arms, shoulders, body shots, everywhere. He's going to try to beat him up to open up that guard. Floyd Mayweather's style is suitable for guys that's smaller than him. We haven't seen him fight a guy that's like Margarito, that's busy like Margarito. So who do I think wins this fight? And I'll tell you who wins this fight. I'll tell you, Floyd Mayweather would win this fight. Here's why. And this is all speculations. It's just my opinion. You guys could tell me what your opinion is. There's no right or wrong. It's just a fantasy matchup. In my opinion, Margarito would beat Floyd. He would outwork Floyd. He would throw more punches than Floyd. I believe he would land more punches than Floyd because he's a way, way stronger and harder pressure fighter than Diego Corrales, than Castillo, who I thought beat Floyd as well in the first time, Maidana, Ricky Hatton. All of these guys combined, they're not as strong, as big as Margarito. They're not as busy as Margarito. They don't have the reach advantage as Margarito. And Margarito's going to keep coming. And the one thing that Margarito was really good at, and we've seen it at the Miguel Cotto fight, is he's good at cutting off the ring. We've seen him do it against Manny Pacquiao, who has immaculate footwork. But Floyd Mayweather will get the win because he is Floyd Mayweather. He is the guy that brings revenue to these cities, to the city of Vegas, to these sanction bodies, to these pay-per-view, to these promoters. He is the money person. And in boxing, as a lot of you guys like to say, it's a business first. And I believe that Margarito would beat Floyd Mayweather Jr., but he would get stiffed out of the decision, just like Castillo did, just like Maidana did in the very first fight. And contrary to what a lot of people believe, I thought that Manny Pacquiao did just enough to beat Floyd Mayweather. That's my opinion. I believe that Margarito could beat Floyd, but he wouldn't get the decision, and Floyd Mayweather would come out on top. That's how I see that fight. It's unfortunate that they didn't fight because Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't fight his mandatories. He picks and chooses his opponents. He picks and chooses his opponents at the right time. And it just probably wasn't the right time for him to fight Antonio Margarito. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is the MOBC.